All right, it's just another day in the psych ward. You ever loved a suicidal woman? I did. I've loved more than a few unstable women, but what is unstable? The one that affects me the most is, well, obviously my longest term relationship. And whether she likes it or not, we'll talk about it. Because she was cutting, and her mother was she had breast cancer at the time of the relationship. I lost my grandfather. She was in university. I was in college, and I was donating blood at the time. You know, with this hope that maybe it would go to her mother. Her mother had a mastectomy, and I don't know exactly why. Well, I kind of do. She was, we're going to talk about her. She wasn't the most popular kid in her small town. And I was never the popular kid either. Both two awkward, ugly ducklings, so to speak. I didn't have any money really. She was working as a DSW at the same time as going to school. So quite a bit of stress, workload, trying to maintain everything. And well, she was 23, 24, I was 27. So she had trouble with alcohol. That's what it seemed like. And she was on more than, well, she was on antidepressants. And those of you that don't know, Ativan and alcohol is a deadly combination. Don't do that. I gave her as much as I could. I gave her everything that I could of myself. And I'm still trying to figure out, even to this day, exactly why things fall apart in relationships, especially in such a loving and intimate context. And by no means casual. You know, the next step really was to move in together, get married. I didn't always know what was going on because, like, my emotional development or my suppression thereof and channeling those feelings into my art, and then not really knowing when the work was going to come after school or where it was going to come from, and also knowing that I had to leave at some point, was just heartbreaking. And then admittedly, one day I found her diary and I opened it up, and I probably shouldn't have. And I read a passage in which she blamed me for her problems. That really hurt. I never talked to her about it. The tumultuous period, I figured that if we could get through that, that we would be able to get through anything. But she didn't feel the same. You know, she started exercising. I wasn't really feeling it. She's trying to encourage me to do the same. I've loved more than one unstable woman. Anyways, this is off the CAMH website. Any given year, it's front page, right? This mental health crisis, as they call it, which it is. Addictions and facts, the statistics. I probably highlighted on this on one of the earlier videos in the first volume of History Propaganda. Let's see. In any given year, 1 in 5 Canadians experience a mental illness. By the time Canadians reach 40 years of age, 1 in 2, so about half the population, have or have had a mental illness. It mostly affects young people concurrent with substance abuse disorders, which, you know, I experienced that. You know, I'm coming from conservative Christian households and then going off to university and like this, yeah, I can finally buy booze and whatever else. Young people aged 15 to 24 are more likely to experience mental illnesses or substance use disorders than any other age group. 39% of Ontario high school students indicate a moderate to serious level of psychological distress. Symptoms of anxiety and depression for the 17 indicate a serious level of psychological distress. Men have higher rates of substance abuse than women, while women have higher rates of mood and anxiety disorders. And it's, you know, I wasn't equipped to deal with that. I didn't know how to be in love with her and listen to her and be there for her. And try not to fix it. It wasn't my job to fix it. It was just my job, my task, was to try and make her feel loved and happy, however I could, with how little I had and how inadequate it felt to be ill-equipped. You know, helplessly hoping. Mental and physical health are linked. Right there, you know, hence the fitness manifesto. And again, you know, I'm not here by voluntarily at the moment, but that could change, you know. I've always had the desire to help other people. It's fulfilling. You know, I feel reward and satisfaction in that. To make people better than what they are. Sometimes at the price of my own mental health. People with long-term physical health conditions such as chronic pain are more likely to also experience mood disorders. Conversely, people with mood disorders are at much higher risk of developing a long-term medical condition. People with mental illnesses are twice as likely to have a substance use disorder compared to at least the general population. At least 20% of people with mental illness have co-occurring substance use disorder. For people with schizophrenia, the number may be as high as 50%. Now, schizophrenia is a very broad umbrella. It's just like, again, mood disorders or even autism spectrum. And it's so, it's very, I imagine, from the clinical side, it's both easy to diagnose and challenging to pick the puzzle apart, I myself, I didn't have great emotional development, but I may be stupid, but I know what love is. Even when my family says I'm being unreasonable. If there's one thing I know, it's that I know what it is to be isolated. I know what it is to be alone. A lot of times it's okay to be alone. I like that. But to be pushed out of things and continuous rejection is one of the greatest challenges of life. I'm preoccupied with the thoughts of romantic love, and I'm an artist, so of course I am. Or identity and the expressions of emotions, and intensity, and the gravitas. So those of you who are going through similar challenges, or if her story or my story resonates with you, again, I'll say this on camera, I love you. I hope things get better for you. And just find a way to make the external versus the internal external. Because it took me my entire life to be as good as I am as a painter. It took me more than a decade to be as good as I am as a mechanic. And it might take me another 10 years to be as good as those other skills as an engineer. So good luck to you. I hope one day we meet in person. And then when we do, we can smile. So I'll make this love part 2 in bits and bytes. And take care of yourself. Don't try to force your way through things. And don't ignore the warning signs. And when you love fully and completely. At least then you'll know what it is to live.